Hi guys, welcome to Generation Mingle. My name is B, I'm your host, and yes, that's what we do, right? The boomers, Gen X, millennial, and Gen Z having conversation, learn something from each other that possibly was missed as we growing up, and the little alpha just listening and watching us very close. I would like to welcome today my new guest, Eli. Welcome to our podcast.
Hello.
Eli have been amazing, decide to come, considering that he is Generation Z. And I'm so excited because I want to, for very long time, have someone from that generation because I'm very curious about everything that's going on. I receive wonderful letters from Generation Z, and I could not wait to discuss a couple of topics with you, Eli. If I know that you guys a little bit different, little bit unique, but I will first read at least one letter that we can introduce the topic that I want to talk about. There will be a bunch of piercing, bunch of tattoos, issues, bunch of discovering, not rebellion as possibly my generation, Gen X, or the boomers, judging or making statements against that generation. So let's go turn into that first letter immediately because I cannot wait to read and hear Eli what he thinks. Okay, here we go. My tattoos are the parts of me no one protected. Dear Generation Mingle, I am Gen Z and I know my tattoos make some people uncomfortable. They see irresponsibility, they see rebellion, they see immaturity. What I see are chapters. I grew up in a home where emotions were inconvenient and silence was survival. No one asked how I was doing, they asked how I was performing. Be good, be quiet, don't make it harder. So I learned to disappear. When I got older, my body became the first place I was allowed to tell the truth. Every tattoo marks something I survived without guidance. Pain I carried alone. Versions of myself that didn't get saved by adults. That isn't attention seeking, that is self witnessing. I'm not lazy, I'm exhausted from becoming my own parent, therapist, and cheerleader, all while being told I should be grateful and quiet. If I express myself too much, it is because for a long time I wasn't allowed to express myself at all. Sincerely, the Gen Z is still learning how to exist. Troy. Whoa! So this is exactly what I'm used to it to hear from boomers and Gen Xers. Oh my gosh, look the hair. Oh my gosh, look the tattoo on the ear, and why there is a piercing on that ear, what they are five and not just one. And I'm just wonder sometimes why we are so opinionated. Do I talk or Gen Z talk to me why you drive white car and not red car, why you drive truck and not electric car, is nobody opinion what other people do with their lives or with their bodies. What do you have to say, Eli, about it as representative of that generation?
Well, as a tattoo artist, tattoos are more of a self-expression, it is true. And from personal experience, you do get judged right away. If you have tattoos, you get judged by the way you look, if you're wearing makeup or what you wear. It's true. I have gauges in my ears. So the gauges I've been told before, going to a job interview, the guy would tell me, you can pull my truck out of a ditch. I can just hook you up to my truck and you can pull me out. And so obviously that wasn't the job for me.
Hold on. That was an interview?
Yes.
What was the generation that has spoken this way to you? What do you think? Just estimate.
He was probably around Gen X, I would say. Gen X to...
Brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. But anyway, I'm sorry I interrupt you. Go ahead. So any other, experience that you have, not with your jewelry, but with your, as a tattoo artist, by the way, yes, Eli is a tattoo artist. Can you tell me if you have some customers that coming in to you, what's as a Gen Z generation, what do they suggest or are telling you the story, what they want, why they want to have that tattoo?
Well, it's not just Gen Z, it's anybody who's coming to get tattoos, but people are coming to mark times of their lives. Maybe they had a loved one that passed away, and they wouldn't remember that permanently. It's a
Right.
reminder for them, or it is a struggle that they've been through that they want to showcase for themselves as a reminder.
Right.
Not for anybody else, it's for themselves. Tattooing is a sense of therapy for people.
Now, another question I have, because I'm looking also from the point of view of the based on that letter that people seeing and judging. According to myself, when as a Gen X, we did have tattoo. By the way, I'm the only one in the entire studio here that don't have one yet. But when we did tattoos, my generation, they were there, but they were covered. They were somewhere that would be not visible during the interview. I do, quite frankly, don't care and I look people if they have tattoo that I can see them or are not. Sometimes it's just beautiful and just fit well at the personality. But tell me what have changed from, Gen X to millennial and also your generation, Gen Z, that you're trying that they are visible like in that first letter. What?
I think that freedom of self-expression, we want to be able to be seen and to wear what we want to wear, to not judge us based on what we look like to
Right.
not judge a book by its cover, to get to know us personally before you judge anything that's on our skin or in our face or anything like that. The color of our hair doesn't mean we don't know things or that we're not a good person just
Now-
because we're different.
Now, here I have another question. So, I am a different person because I like to learn, I like to ask, and this is why I create also the podcast that other generation understand me as a Gen X, that the boomer understand, and that the boomer understand millennial, that Gen Z, and vice versa, that we communicate because we have been thrown as a generation so far apart. And my question is I know you're a little bit different, and that's why, I'm attracted to you as a person. So I just wonder how you would react, or the regular average Gen Z would react if I ask questions. So why, I'm sorry, I have to ask Eli because I'm not educated. You said gauges are the earrings in your ears that you have? Yes. Why you have them? If not necessary, I don't want your personal expression to tell me, but how you guys react when I would ask you why you have that tattoo, below your chin, or why behind the ear, and why that tattoo, why you did that tattoo. So are you open to express, to tell us? Would you like us to ask, or that would be more comfortable for us to just, okay, tattoo and ignore it? How would the Gen Z react to that?
I think from me personally, I think it's great if you ask questions and if you're asking out of a sign of respect. So
Right.
it depends on how you're asking.
Right.
So if you ask like, oh, I like your tattoos, do they mean something to you?
Right.
Or asking, yeah, I think it's okay to ask.
Versus telling you, hey, you can pull my truck.
Yes, that's not okay.
Well, I do have a little story about that. I have someone that I know as a boomer, and of course, Eli, as well has a ring in his nose. But I think I like it. Do I do it myself? Possibly not. But I do enjoy seeing people, and some people really suits that very well. But I have here a boomer making statement. Oh my gosh, look at that! It looks like a buffalo or a cow. And I'm just like, for a minute, I even didn't want to react, and then I just decide, no comment is good. I'm just letting him go because I don't want to be involved in that chat. But I don't understand how people think in this way, and it's nice to hear from Eli that that's really happening. It is open, and in a professional interview, what just amazed me. Okay, let me go to a second letter. Okay, I have a second letter, and I cannot wait what the Eli input will be on this one. Okay, I don't fit anywhere. I am tired of pretending that is my fault. Dear Generation Mingle, I spent my whole life feeling like I missed a class everyone else attended. I don't fit into corporate culture. I don't fit into traditional timelines. I don't fit into the version of adulthood my parents recognize. I am tired. I am really tired. But every time I showed up as myself, the one sensitive, creative, questioning, I was told to toughen up, tone it down, or grow up. So I dyed my hair, I pierced my ears, I dressed differently, not to shock anyone, but to finally feel visible. When older generations say, we complain too much, what they don't hear is grief. We are grieving a world that told us to dream big and then handed us survival mode. Instead, I am not broken, I'm trying to belong in a world that keeps changing the rules. A Gen Z who's still looking for home, Catherine. What are your
Wow.
feelings about this one? It's brutal. I'm getting goosebumps when I read something like
No,
that.
I think it's very true. Um, Self-expression can be your way of survival.
Right.
So being able to express yourself through your body, through your hair and everything, it can be the only thing that you have for coping.
Right.
But it's important to be able to express yourself. It's your art form. You're showing that with your body, with how you're showing it.
So I have a thought, Eli, when I read that letter of Istanbul a while ago, because I have that in my system for more than a minute. I have noticed that the parents currently, regardless if the later parents are myself Gen X or the early parents millennials that have a Gen Z children, they are so wrapped up in the world, they're running so fast that they're forgetting to stop and see our children and give them the time to expressing themselves to them, to have that conversation with them. They are very short to the kids. They are very opinionated with them. I don't know, how are your friends and your surroundings in your age? Do they see, or do you see what I see? That this is why the step has been, okay, I cannot talk to my dad or my mom or my family is broken, therefore I have to express somehow myself, and this is why I have that developed, mid colors and piercing and tattoos more than ever. What's your opinion?
I think that I think it can be a part of it, of like trying to find yourself in that way. But I agree, like a lot of the time, it's like you are reparenting yourself now.
Okay.
You are reparenting yourself. So growing up quiet and alone and feeling like these are the ways that I can express myself through that. Now you're trying to oh my gosh, I don't know how to explain it, I guess. So
You're trying to figure it out, the path that possibly an adult should be helping you to figure it out in different way, right?
These ways of communication that you're supposed to have with the parental figure, you maybe might not have.
My point. Yeah.
So you're doing it the best way that you can. And
Right.
then when, maybe you're not dyeing your hair anymore, you're actually finding like other things to do. But
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Eli. I have been thinking about this because I see how parents can get wrapped up in stuff, and we just don't see those kids, that they need us, that they need that guidance, that they need the time to let them express themselves. That if they ask about something, don't push it away, don't brush off, stop for a minute. Really, that dinner today does not have to be warm and made. You don't need to go somewhere immediately. Just instead of leaving for the cigarette on the porch, get back in and talk to your kid, right? Every minute you have to be very careful to help them to figure it out. Because in the end result, please tell me, I don't think so that is really important to you guys as a kids, right? Or that have been, that you have, perfect meal versus having good conversation with your parent, or that you would wish so. Not particularly you, but as your colleagues and friends. What's your opinion on that? Would be that more important than anything else extra?
yeah, being able to talk about real things with your parents, even like from a younger age, like if you're having a problem, like maybe knowing how to solve it, like not having to parent your parents.
Right.
So not having to be emotionally available for them.
Right.
And having somebody take care of you that way as a kid, which you should be,
But you should enjoy your childhood,
Yeah.
right? And I don't care. I know that some opinions are, hey, you're 18, you're not kid anymore. But I believe as long as you can progress to be a kid and enjoy the childhood, a parent should notice and give you that, because life is tough, really tough. It's getting really, really hard. So I have one more letter, and I want to make sure that Eli tell us exactly about what he's doing and where and how. Okay, but let's go read this one. This is my last letter. Okay, my childhood made me loud because no one listened. Dear Generation Mingle, I grew up fast. I was the emotional support child, the peacemaker, the one who didn't cause trouble. So now, as an adult, when I take up space, it makes people uncomfortable. They call dramatic, they call oversharing, and they call attention seeking. But what I really display is the delayed voice. I don't get to be messy as a kid. I don't get to feel safe enough to fall apart. So now I am doing it later, while paying bills and pretending I'm fine. My piercings, they are reminders that my body belongs to me. My clothes, they are freedom I didn't have growing up. If that looks like too much, it is only because I spent years being nothing. A Gen Z reclaiming space, Eliza. Well, sometimes, life could look like too much, but seems like she grew up super fast. She was an adult. Exactly what you said. This is why I want to read.
Yes, yes.
She was the adult at home,
She was the adult at home and not allowed to be anything else, not to have that self-expression from a young age. So now it's being able to express yourself fully without anybody telling you what to do. That freedom of choice.
Right.
The freedom that everybody deserves to be able to express themselves that way.
You know what? Yeah, it's basically delayed expression. It's horrible when the kids cannot have space in their own home with parents to speak up.
Yeah,
right?
Or to allow them to be who they want to be.
Exactly.
How they want to express themselves.
Exactly. I think that parents think so much sometimes about themselves and their own concerns and their only worries, whatever it is. I don't, disregard illness or anything like that. I don't disregard the financial situations as well. But again, whatever is not life-threatening, should be put it on the side.
Yeah, if your kid wants to cut their hair, if they want to try something new, let them try it.
Just experience, right?
Just to experience it.
Yeah.
Why not? What's so harmful about that?
This is excellent point, because how they can grow up, how they're going to try everything else, how they're going to try different profession to be really happy and successful in that profession when they're not allowed to do that.
Exactly. And as a parent, you want to be able to be supportive to your kids in that way. So you're teaching them that their freedom of choice matters from an early age.
Right.
That they can express themselves however they want from an early age. That's going to lead into their adulthood.
To the success.
So, yes, to their success. So
instead of depression.
The more you support them in that, the better they're going to be growing up.
Exactly. Oh my God, so well said. I just love Gen Z. I said before on my podcast that I believe Gen Z is our future and we should embrace and listen to them. What we miss, what the boomers have missed, what the millennials have still missing, and what I miss as a Gen X. But I'm noticing you guys, I love Gen Z, and my hopes are extremely strong that you, not that you'll be perfect parents, that you will be perfect human beings, but that you're going to try to do better.
And that's what I think that everyone is trying to do. We just want better.
Yeah, excellent. Oh my gosh, I love it. So, here is something else, okay? I want to also mention very briefly that so many people right now, especially parents, millennials, even the younger Gen Z that we have, they go into some troubles, and that could be again financial or the relationship troubles. Don't ever put yourself in the divorce or any of that situation as a primary person. Keep always an eye on your kids. Do not make fights and conversation in front of your kids, or to damage them, or to take advantage, or to play games with your spouse, and taking that kid as an example to continue to have that game and fighting during the divorce. Don't do that, because I see the several letters that we don't have time to read through today. I have received that kids have not been able to express themselves because parents have been divorcing, because the parents use them as the part of the game of the divorce. Yeah. And I'm not sure if you have something like that as your colleagues, that you have noticed that with the parents separating and what's happened to those kids, because many millennials have, or Gen X's have separate, divorced, and many Gen Zs have been lost in that gap. I'm not sure if you have seen that.
Yeah, I have seen that in a lot of my friend group. A lot of the parents are divorced
Right.
early on, so a lot of them had to go in between different houses, or their parents just didn't get along, but they stuck it out because that's what they were supposed to do.
So therefore, it's come in different expressions, right? In different directions. That's why you want to have that freedom of expression and freedom of talking about things to not being un taboo as why they divorce, why they don't like each other, why they still live together.
Yeah,
Right?
like
Yeah.
why would you stay with somebody if you know it's not working, and then you're in a situation where you're stuck in the middle, basically.
Yeah. And
So as a
always
child, always in the middle, or
right.
going from two different households where there's two different expectations of two sets of rules.
Right.
So you're going back and forth constantly,
Because that's what I said is the game, right?
not knowing what to expect.
Yes, because the parents playing the game on I know better or that she knows better and so far. So, guys, just to not forget, I want to ask Eli exactly. So, what is your profession as a tattoo artist? What would you call yourself exactly? What do you do? What's your profession?
So I would say that I am an artist first,
Okay.
but I specialize in tattoos.
Okay.
And what I do with tattoos is more considered, like, for me, it's more healing for people. So when I do these tattoos, people are very vulnerable with me. They're telling me their stories of their hurt, of their traumas that they've been through. Sometimes it's just for fun, that they really just want this really fun, colorful, bright tattoo. But other times it's a lot of a deeper meaning, and it's very healing. It's a very healing process.
So, it seems like you really enjoy that. Your entire heart is
Yes.
to this art that you perform in as a tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Absolutely fantastic. So, where you are located? We are located in Las Vegas, we know, but I want to hear from Eli. What is the name of your business and where you're located, if you can tell us?
Oh, yes. So I'm in Henderson, and I'm Lost Boy Tattoos.
Okay. Everybody can Google, even the boomers right now. And just FYI for people outside there, Henderson is just on the line of Las Vegas. So we connected. Yes, we need to drive half hour, 45 minutes, but it's just next town to Las Vegas, basically. So, guys, what I wanted to ask you, please, thank you so much. If you like this episode, subscribe. I really greatly appreciate it. Give us thumbs up. Keep those letters coming and the comments coming. I do have one question for Eli from Gen Xer. Okay, here you go, Eli. Come up more than once. I am Gen X, and I have one question. Why Gen Z at work ask to change everything, explaining that too old way is too much work? But they never understand that with a different system, we will not be able to finish work on time because of the shortage of people working with us. I am open to change, but with a solution, not complaining that involves wasting time, such as extra meetings. Why you guys always ask questions to change?
I think the questions to change are more of that thing of why has it always been done the same way over time if it's not helping the situation.
Okay.
So it's not that we're trying to complain, we just want a better system.
The problem is, though, that the people that are in charge, majority of the time, are Gen X and the boomers, and they want to change anything but still keep less employees in certain departments.
Yes, and
right.
I think that our generation, it holds mental health over sacrifice physically, right. And so we're not going to work ourselves to death, basically.
I completely understand. But I also can understand the Gen X or the boomer when they work in that job for 15 years and you start questioning. For them is just complaining, let's go just get it done. I understand that. It's too bad that we can still not find the middle of it. So I think it should be by the leaders, managers, leaders, to figure it out how to balance that with some young generations coming into work like yourself or the younger millennials or the Gen Z. We don't have that.
And I think when you approach it with telling us that we're complaining attitude, you can't meet in the middle. There's no room to meet in the middle to actually find a solution.
This is why, again, we need the leadership to step in, and leadership doesn't have time for that, right? Unfortunately, yeah. But this is the answer that we have for you. So I want to thank you so much, Eli, for your patience with all those questions that I have, because I'm learning about your generation. Thank you for coming. I would love you to visit us again if you don't mind. I think we need to explore a little bit more about children and children being affected, because you are one of the youngest generation, and maybe it's good to just help parents that have an alpha currently as a kids, to help them navigate, to prevent depression, and give them help with self-awareness and expression with those parents. So I would love you to come back if you don't mind. But guys, I want to thank you again to chip in. Please be mindful of others. If they have tattoos, if they have red hair, green hair, or any antennas sticking out, okay, please be aware what their feelings are, where they have been, where they going, what they accomplish, okay. And as always I say, keep your Wi-Fi strong, your music loud, and the conversation just strong enough to keep on talking to each other, learning from each other, and keep on mingle. I want to make sure that everybody that suffers for any problems, whatever they are, okay, please make sure to reach out to professionals or your best friend. Talk to somebody. Don't give up. I want you to reach out to professionals if you need assistance with anything at all. Thank you so much, guys, for chipping in, and have a wonderful Super Bowl.